Good morning. We are joined this morning by our head coach, Seth Parr, before our final district game, final regular season game. Schedule's changed. Moved up to a 5 o'clock kickoff. Tell me how that changes y'all's process and what you're going through this morning.
Well, it's a good question. That bumps everything up. Usually we have a breakfast around 9 o'clock and we do a pregame and do a walkthrough. Kind of canceled that to bring them up at 12. So, luckily it's week 10. We feel like we can, we know that part of it. You can't go a couple of weeks without it, but, we gave them more chances to rest and then be able to come up here, because then we'll just make it one long day from there. So, then we go through our walkthroughs and all that kind of stuff, how to tape, all that kind of stuff. We're also preparing for balls, how to get them ready. You're preparing for lightning delays, what you're going to do in the locker room if you have a 30-minute delay or an hour delay or even 3 hours. Been in there long enough for 3 hours. So 3 hours with a bunch of teenage kids in one room, you better have a plan for it. You also have to have a meal plan. How you going to eat, how you going to do all that if you're in the locker room for that long, and in the locker room's little. So that creates another issue. Pre-game, how you going to work out if it's raining outside? Do you work out in the indoor? Do you travel over there early? Usually we're 3 hours early, so we can do a walkthrough and all that stuff. So today we're only going to be an hour early because we're going to do everything here to stay dry, and then just bring in multiple clothes and all that kind of stuff. Without sleeves, you got to convince kids not to wear sleeves, because sleeves add to, makes you slick, makes ball security, but also gets you more cold and gets you colder, I guess, and that happens.
Well, so we're locked into our spot in the district. We know who our playoff opponent is next week. So how do you keep the kids focused, and what is tonight about for you guys as a coaching staff?
Well, tonight's about playing at your best and being sharp, and we know what our best looks like, and you feel what your best is. So it doesn't matter the opponent, And the Denison game was not it. Last week was it. So, you can't fool yourself.
Well, there you go. Hey, Coach Parr, you talked about it, locker room, weather, all of that type of stuff. Does that change your game plan at all, knowing that there's some inclement weather, some rain coming in? Or will you just let it rip?
It depends. We do both. I mean, if it's a light rain, it doesn't really affect you. If it's a downpour like we had last year in the first round of the playoffs, that's really a good equalizer for the opponent, for us, because it's hard to throw it in the downpour. But what's even more miserable last year was that Chumley wasn't available either. So, and it's hard for footing for offensive linemen. So, we're hoping that the downpour stays away, and just, a steady rain is a lot better than a downpour. A downpour, that muddies everything up.
For sure. Coach Parr, any final thoughts you want to give to anybody watching, the fans, anybody, before I let you go?
Bring a raincoat, bring some umbrellas, bring your horns, and be ready to go. You're going to get wet, so embrace the wetness. There's nothing you can do about it, and have fun. How many times when you were young you wanted to get wet, so just pretend like you're young again.
Well, there you go. Good luck tonight against Frisco Liberty, Coach.
Thank you.
Well, good morning. We are joined game day against Frisco Liberty, final district game with Coach Rod. Hey, Coach Rod, I see you over in the corner doing some stuff to the footballs, right? No Deflategate going on, but what are you doing to prepare it for the weather?
Yeah, so the forecast, for today's game is showing a little bit of rain, a little bit of precipitation, right? So we're needing all our ammunition, we're needing all the balls that we could possibly get, just to make sure, we're able to snap the ball, throw it, catch it the best we can. So you can't do that without a dry ball. So we're breaking down about 15 footballs. We got 12 balls that are already broken in. So we got a total of 27 balls that are going to be used in tonight's game, right? So when you get a brand new football out of the bag, there's a lot of wax that is on the ball, and it's just hard to throw, it's hard to snap, it's really slick. So there's a process that we go in breaking down that ball, right? And luckily we got Coach Cantrell, who showed us a faster way to speed up that process. Because usually it's a process that takes maybe a day or two. And, having him, he was able to show us a way that I've never have heard of, and it's putting water directly over the ball and then getting a sponge and just scrubbing it out, and it speeds up just being able to get the wax off, where traditionally all we've been doing is brushing the ball. And it takes forever. Luckily, he was able to show us that, and we're able to break down, multiple balls at one time. So once we do that, we kind of let them sit there for a little bit, and then the step 2 is putting them in the dryer. So we just got all these balls, we put them in the dryer, doing a little bit of laundry with it, let them sit there for 5 minutes, and then once they are dry, we get them out. And then the next step 3, is then getting some shaving cream and just rubbing the ball with a lot of shaving cream, just trying to recondition the leather a little bit. And then currently what we're doing right now is we're just letting them sit for about 10-15 minutes. Then the next step is just going to be getting a brush and scrubbing all that shaving cream off the football, right? And then now that's where the leather is going to be a lot better. The ball's going to look darker, right? Because if you look at the brand new football, it's real bright orange, right? And that means it's not ready to go. So once we brush them, get all that shaving cream out, then we'll apply a leather conditioner just to kind of help prolong the football a little bit, just help make the leather just a little bit longer. And then that way, throughout the season, the durability of the ball is going to last a little bit more. So now, obviously, for tonight's game, we're doing all these work for these balls. It may be the last time these balls are going to be used, right? Because, the forecast is showing all that rain, and the balls are just going to probably be ruined after tonight's game. So, yeah, a lot of work to get these footballs, broken down, and probably going to be the last time we use them. So, if it pours and they get drenched, the balls get heavy, and there's not really anything you could do to, as far as, bring back the ball back to life. Once it's soaked, it's done. So.
Talk about the rotation of the ball.
Rotation of the balls for me. What kind of role will the ball boys play in keeping those balls rotated?
Yeah, so we have a tent, we have a tote that is going to be on our sideline that is going to keep the balls as dry as possible. We're going to communicate with our ball boys and the officials, because this is the other deal too that takes a minute. Is prior to each game, these officials got to check the footballs, right? So, hey, trying to prevent that deflate game from happening, right? So they're going to be really surprised when they come into tonight's game, and we're going to tell them, hey, we got to we got to check in about 30 footballs. So that's going to be a lot of work for that guy. So hopefully he has some help. But anyway, so we're going to go about possibly 2 per quarter. And obviously we got plenty of football, so if it's one every other drive, that's a possibility as well. So, just kind of going to see on what Mother Nature brings us. So if it's not pouring that bad, then we'll do, 2 balls per drive, or we'll just get one every other drive. So.
I love it, man. A lot of work that goes in behind the scenes that fans will never even realize is happening.
Yeah.
That you kind of open and shed some light on for us. Hey, I want to switch gears and ask you one last question.
Yeah.
Your playing days. Do you have a favorite memory playing in inclement weather, whether it's rain, snow, something like that? Favorite memory of that?
Probably one of my favorite memories as far as playing in inclement weather was my senior year playing against Lubbock Estacado. Similar to this, has some rain, and you kind of never know what the outcome of the game is, just because of the weather, right? And luckily, Estacado was a really good team at the time, and we were still able, a lot of people get a misconception that, hey, you're not going to be as good throwing the ball, and yes, there's going to be some challenges with that, but we were still able to be successful throwing the ball. I want to say I threw for 6 touchdowns that day, and the most important thing was we won the game. So that's probably my favorite memory as far as having to deal with inclement weather.
There you go. Well, Coach Rod with the casual flex to end our time this morning. 6 touchdowns in a rainy game to get the win against Lubbock Estacado.
Yeah.
Hey, we appreciate you for taking a couple minutes with us, Coach Rod. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
All right, well, we are joined by Coach Cantrell and Coach Stewart before our final district game against Frisco Liberty. Hey, take a second. I want you guys to introduce yourselves. Why don't you tell us what you do for the program? And yeah, we'll start with that.
Caleb Cantrell, first-year coach. A little bit about me. I went to Birdville High School. It's Colleyville, Southlake, North Richland Hills kind of area, if you're familiar with that. Went on, played a year at the University of Wyoming under Coach Craig Bowl. Then I did 5 years at UTSA. They've had some recent success, so maybe you guys know who that is. And then now I'm here, my first coaching job. Assistant quarterbacks coach, kind of, I don't know if Coach Parr's right-hand man would be the right word, but whatever he needs, I got him. I make his a lot of his presentations, anything the quarterbacks need. He's a big video guy. Really any of that stuff. That light keeps going off. But yeah.
Got to be careful with this. My name is Coach Stewart, Jesse Stewart. This is my first year in Anna, my 7th year coaching. I help out Coach Rodriguez with the receivers. I'm originally from Oakland, California, 510. I went to Cal, try not to hold it against me. But yeah, I kind of just help out with whatever's needed around here. I do a lot of our like in-game analytics and stuff like that. Yeah, happy to be here, happy to be a Coyote.
Well, there you go. Hey, guys, I want to give me a quick thought about tonight's game. How do you think the weather's going to affect it, that whole deal?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you get down to weather, it really just depends on who's going to execute better. Played in a lot of weather games. I know it's kind of surprising for California, but you just really have to focus in on the details. You can't be too focused on one thing or the other. You got to make sure that you're playing a well-rounded game, and I think it doesn't really matter who you're going against. I think at the end of the day, the Coyotes got to play the Coyotes, and well, you just got to execute in the rain.
There you go. Coach Cantrell, same question to you.
You know, people look at it, right? We're supposed to be this air raid team. We do have a great quarterback, great receiving core, all that. We have a great O-line too, right? We got probably the best offensive lineman in the sophomore class, another 3 or 4 guys that are almost just as good, right? They're right there, and we've got a hell of a running back, right? Probably, in my opinion, the best running back in the state. So if we got to air it out, we'll air it out. If we got to, it gets sloppy and we got to go on the ground, we're not scared to go on the ground either.
Well, there you go. Hey, I want to get your thoughts on the "Let It Rip" quote from last Friday night. Coach Parr was telling us that he was having a conversation with Tristan when he got in the game, and Tristan kind of looked at him and said, "Well, Coach, let's let it rip."
Yeah.
What is that mindset, and where does that come from you guys on offense to say, you know what, we're going to let it rip and we're going to take our shots?
Yeah, I mean, when you're playing, any opponent we play, right, they're going to be good, and you can't be scared. Coming into it, you can't be nervous, especially, I'm a quarterback's coach. You can't come in scared. You just got to let it rip, If you play timid, if you play scared, you're not going to execute. If you go out, we work hard. I mean, we're here from 5:30 in the morning, 6 o'clock till 6 at night. Sometimes these kids have worked hard. You just got to go out there and play your game. You can't sit here and be timid.
Well, there you go. Hey, Coach Stewart, I want to ask you then, working with the wide receivers, who is the wide receiver that has the biggest personality in that room?
Oh, man. That's maybe an impossible question to answer. I think it would have to go down between Ronald and Ashton. I think those guys I love those guys to death. They crack me up on a daily basis. But I can tell you who the quietest are, and it is definitely Ace and Rowan. And those are my rocks. And then I get to hang out with Ashton and Ronald all the time.
No surprise there about who the quietest are for sure.
For sure.
Who's got the best hands in the wide receiver room?
Oh, don't make me answer that one. That one's going to get me in trouble. That one's going to get me in trouble. Is Edward Chumley. There we go.
Edward Chumley, there you go.
Let me just avoid that question.
Listen, Coach Stewart ducking the question like he's a seasoned pro out here, like Coach Rigg does all of our other questions. Phil off camera says amen to that. Hey guys, thank you for taking a couple of minutes with us. Good luck as we enter our final district game, and we're excited to watch you guys not only tonight, but as we roll into the playoffs.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Coyotes.
Well, we are joined this morning by our offensive coordinator, Coach Rigg, before our final district game. Hey, regular season's coming to a close. Still got to end on a high note. Kind of give me your thoughts as we head into the rain game tonight.
Yeah, so big thing's going to be starting fast. Everyone talks about starting fast, but coming out, playing a nice, clean, physical first quarter, and just getting things going in the right direction, getting some momentum, and then kind of capitalizing on that momentum, I think is going to be very important. Need to do a good job of just, not having any mistakes early on, not slowing down drives, not having drives stop or stall because of, mistakes or mental errors that we may have. So play a clean mental game and just come out and really play fast and physical early on. I think that's going to be a big deal with it, and then I think it'll take care of itself. But, anytime there's a rain game, you just really got to get the momentum going, moving the ball consistently. If you can do that, kind of the elements take care of themselves.
Well, hey, you've kind of been you've been ducking my question all season long. I'm gonna hold you to it. I need a game day prediction, not for our game tonight. There's another big game on Saturday. A little OU versus Missouri. My counterpart's a big Boomer Sooner fan. Bleeds the Sooner Crimson. Give me your prediction on what's going to happen with Mizzou and OU on Saturday.
Yeah, I think if Brady Cook plays, our quarterback, I think it's a two-score game for the good guys. If Brady Cook is out, I think we still have some questions at the backup quarterback position that anyone would agree with in the Missouri fan base that we kind of got to figure out. So hopefully one of those guys step up and have a big game and are able to be really successful with it all. I think if one of them can step up, could be a good thing. I think we have a really good defense, have a lot of good skill guys that can hold their own, but I think it's really going to come down to how that quarterback plays.
All right, Coach, I haven't been asking any questions. I got to step in here. So look, you're an offensive guy. We have a lot of respect for you. Blake and I have a ton, and as that, you get to kind of look at this game from a different perspective.
Yeah.
You've been on the field, you've played for that university.
Yeah.
You look across that field, you see that offensive line for OU.
They're good.
Let's diagnose. Let's be fair. Let's be fair a little bit. What does a coach see when they're looking at their opponent and see something like that?
Yeah, so we're a lot of times on Saturday morning, we're pretty busy kind of watching our game. But once I do get to watch some football, I did get to watch Oklahoma Ole Miss about a week ago. There's some holes, I think, up front that anyone would agree with, that a little bit of the quarterback's kind of chucking and ducking on a lot of the throws. It's, not a lot of time. Now, part of that's Ole Miss has a really good defensive front, which University of Missouri does as well. But I think, that's kind of a key to the game for the Sooners, is protecting up front and giving that quarterback some time and having a young quarterback make some plays.
Well, that left side leaks like a sieve. I'll say it. In a rainy day, that left side is so bad. But look, no matter what happens, we are excited to see what happens more with our Coyotes. So that's all the question I had for you. I wanted your analysis.
Perfect.
Hey, Coach Rick, I'm just going to let you leave on that one. Thank you for taking a couple minutes with us.
Appreciate it.